From the National Review, FBI imposed gag order on analyst who told Twitter Hunter Biden laptop story was real. The FBI silenced an employee who tried to tell Twitter the Hunter Biden laptop story was real on the day it came out, newly released chat logs show. On October 14th, 2020, the day the New York Post first reported on the Hunter Biden laptop, the FBI told employees do not discuss the Biden matter and imposed a gag order on an analyst who tried to confirm the story's veracity to Twitter during a meeting, according to chat logs released by the House Judiciary Committee. An FBI official with the Bureau's Foreign Influence Task Force, Laura Demlow, previously testified that an analyst on call with Twitter confirmed the laptop was real before an attorney for the FBI told the social media platform it would not comment further. The chat logs show FBI personnel deliberating on how to handle the laptop situation. One FBI official instructed the rest to not discuss the Biden matter, and subsequent messages reiterated that order. After the meeting, the FBI placed a gag order on the analyst who was admonished by FBI staff for speaking up during the meeting. An FBI staffer lamented that the analyst won't shut up, as instructed, the chat logs show. The FBI has declined to comment. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Combine this with a story going back to, what's the date on this one? October 17th, 2020, titled Biden Email Episode Illustrates Risk to Trump from Giuliani. Now, instead of the AP saying explosive emails leaked, they were claiming that Giuliani was a liability, writing, a New York tabloid's puzzling account about how it acquired emails purportedly from Joe Biden's son has raised some red flags. One of the biggest involves the source of the emails, Rudy Giuliani. Giuliani has traveled abroad looking for dirt on the Bidens, developing relationship with shadowy figures, including a Ukrainian lawmaker who U.S. officials have described as a Russian agent and part of a broader Russian effort to denigrate the Democratic presidential nominee. Yet Giuliani says foreign sources didn't provide the Hunter Biden emails. He says a laptop containing the emails and intimate photos was simply abandoned in a Delaware repair shop, and the shop owner reached out to Giuliani's lawyer. That's how the media framed it. We then, of course, saw the narrative. 50 intel agents and officials have come out and said it's a Russian disinformation campaign. Yet they knew the entire time. Now, it's important because I believe Facebook, Twitter shut down this story. You couldn't share a link to the New York Post.
They shut down the Post entirely.
Yes.
Right.
Then and the New York Post, I believe, is what, the fourth oldest newspaper in the country.
Founded by Alexander Hamilton, yes.
And see how it's denigrated by the AP, calling it a New York tabloid. A puzzling account. How could this have happened? Now, the response from a lot of people is, why would they do this? This is not the first time we've heard the FBI was aware of what was going on and that intel officials were lying about it. Trump has revoked their security clearances. I think it's fairly obvious. The polls have shown that this laptop was very bad for Joe Biden. And there were several polls that came out showing had people gotten access to this story, it would have changed their opinion on how they were going to vote by a couple percentage points. And that couple points was enough to win Donald Trump the election. I think it's fair to say the FBI was shutting the story down because they sought to empower, protect, and push Joe Biden as president.
There's a lot. Can I say some things? Because there's a lot here to unpack.
Indeed.
First of all, someone who's born in the Soviet Union, it shocks me that FBI agents would put this stuff in writing. Because I'm not kidding at all. Because these people are spooks. They know their jobs. They know once you put something in writing, it's really hard to get it out of existence, number one. We were never told what those hallmarks of Russian disinformation were. They use that term, hallmarks of Russian disinformation. What were these hallmarks? Like, what cues did you have? What, that he's shirtless, that he has a cigar? So there's just two things that at least don't pass the sniff test. And here's the other thing. I think everyone knew that when Kash Patel took over, the FBI was prepared for like a hostile takeover. But what they couldn't be prepared for is just leaking stuff for what they did. Stuff that was unambiguous, not like deep hidden stuff, but stuff that they did in public and that they were never held accountable for. So I think this is just absolutely hilarious. And I think Trump is not going to stop because just recently when he talked about the pardons not being valid for Kinzinger and Liz Cheney, he's letting people know, I'm not letting you guys get away with what you pulled with me.
So it's your sense that he's going to actually go after these people?
I mean, don't you think he will?
I'm asking your opinion.
I think he's very clearly being vindictive in the best possible way when he's pulling security clearances, when he's going after law firms. And he believes, and he's right, that if you're going to abuse your power, unless you have consequences for it, you're going to do it again. And why wouldn't you?
So that being your opinion, do you think that there's what are the chances of him being successful in your estimation? Do you think that it's going to be railroaded by people in the FBI? Do you think that the FBI is going to be able to actually bring charges on people? Do you think that there's going to be evidence there?
My definition of success is going to be different for some people. Like, if my opinion, these people should be in jail for a very long time.
I agree completely.
I'm looking for that at all. But if you're someone who's an FBI official who has or officer, and that gives you a lot of status and heft, and you get to brag on all your friends, and you could be a lobbyist. If you're publicly disgraced and you never spend a day in jail, that to me is enough of a consequence, and I'll take what I can get.
You guys actually think the FBI would want to meddle in our elections?
I think that. Oh, okay, never mind.
I mean, have they ever done such a thing before?
I mean, the FBI and the CIA have been weaponized against the American people for maybe since they began.
Maybe I'm crazy, but my view is largely that the areas surrounding, and tell me if I'm crazy, Michael, the areas surrounding D.C. are like the capital city in the Hunger Games, where people don't really do real work. They're political operatives who get slush fund money from the government. The FBI and the CIA operate like police for nobility, restricting access of the regular folk from getting access to government so they can run this country as if it were a monarchy with them in power.
I think I'd tweak it a little bit because I really do think, especially under J. Edgar Hoover, I can't speak to more recently, they really regard themselves as above the presidency. Like, they were the nobility. Like, they had a lot of presidents under the thumb. They certainly have a lot of, to this day, senators, Congress people under their thumb. So they don't regard themselves as the bodyguards. They regard themselves as the power behind the throne, I think.
Yeah, like
I agree.
The shocking part of the JFK files that was just different angles of Operation Mongoose, where the CIA is secretly talking in rooms about destroying entire crops in Cuba with biowarfare. You know, it's not like they stopped doing that either. These guys are just extensions of the militant thugs.
And here's the other thing. Like, senators come and go, Congress people come and go, presidents, 8 years. They're playing the long game. And they're thinking long term. So they're much more entrenched as a aristocracy than any politician in a sense.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump is, for now, what have we seen directly targeting individuals like this in the bureaucracy? It's stripping security clearances.
Right.
The rumor is stripping their clearances is step one before arresting and prosecuting them. I don't know that we will see something like that. That seems pretty out there. I don't know. What do you think?
But, you know, it does seem a little bit out there, but at the same time, if we went back in time and said, look, I know today Andrew Cuomo is America's governor, and he's going to be the replacement for Joe Biden in 2020, and I'm a Cuomo-sexual is what Trevor Noah was saying, and then in a few weeks, he's going to be driven from office, and no one's going to take his calls, and yeah, he's trying to return to power now. We wouldn't have seen that coming. So I think a lot of the stuff that Trump is doing now, none of us saw it coming. Yeah. The fact that he's repealing a DEI executive order from the Lyndon Johnson era, the fact that he's actually taking steps to dismantle the Department of Education, these are things where, like, look, I'll take what I can get. If he closes the border, brings down the budget, it's a win. So we're not even 100 days in, and this is all uncharted territory, in my opinion.
Yeah, we deserve accountability.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Michael. Like, there's so many things that have happened in my lifetime that were completely and totally outside of the realm of possibility. Donald Trump winning, to be honest with you, the first time was completely ridiculous. The idea that he would go away
or getting nominated.
Honestly, 100%. And the idea that he would go away and come back completely and totally outside of what most people would expect. Then the fact that he's actually carrying out a lot of the promises that he made, or at least attempting to, with the executive orders about the Department of Education, the executive orders about the creation of DOGE, all of these things that other Republicans have sworn up and down they were going to do, and et cetera, et cetera. And I've said this, a couple days ago. These kind of things actually change what future presidents are going to have to do, because they're not going to be able to make these promises and just be like, oh no, that I couldn't get it done. It's like, well, Donald Trump did, or did he at least try?
Let me say one more thing. Phil and I know spring chickens. This is the first president in either of our lifetimes who has over-delivered on his promises.
100%.
This has never happened before. It's not a thing.
I agree. I have issues. I have concerns. I'm curious what you think, Michael, about with these deportations. When it comes to constitutional rights of individuals in this country, the reason why they extend in a limited fashion to non-citizens is because if the government was allowed to say, you're not a citizen, so you're under arrest, then the rest of the rights don't apply, because they'll just use that as pretext every time they want to arrest you.
Yes.
There'd be no Fourth Amendment. They'd say, well, we arrested him on legal grounds. He was suspected of being an illegal immigrant. We're allowed to do that. Right. The problem then is Joe Biden lets in 10 to 20 million illegal immigrants, many criminals, and Donald Trump is going to extreme ends to try and get as many as he can deported from this country, and they're trying to use that to stop him. There's no middle ground. There's no fence. It's literally a razor's edge. Which side do you fall on? How do you deal with this?
Well, I think this is the middle ground. I think the actual side would be mass deportations. He's not really doing that at all. He's making it much harder to get in. He's making it harder to stay here. He's encouraging people to self-deport. But in terms of like the Eisenhower level, which I can't even say the name of it on the show, where they really rounded people up, what FDR did with Japanese Americans, we're not seeing anywhere near the numbers. So this, what we're seeing, is the moderate position.
Yeah. That's a really good point. People, there have been far more extreme measures taken by previous presidents. Principled, fair enough. Principled measures taken by previous presidents than what Donald Trump is doing. I mean, look at the FDR. You mentioned the internment camps, but the FDR, the presidency, the changes that FDR made just through executive order, the things that he tried were completely unprecedented, right, and changed the structure of the federal government in ways that people prior to FDR never would have believed, and a lot of people would have totally rejected had it not been for the Great Depression.
And can I say one more thing? Sorry,
Sure,
I don't want to interrupt, but I can't tell who's talking.
It's all right.
If I tell this to people nowadays, they'll think it's a joke. FDR made it illegal to own gold.
Yeah.
You could have your wedding ring and like some jewelry, but it was illegal
They seized it.
for a citizen to own gold. And people hear this, they're like, ChatGPT, is he talking crazy? No, that literally happened, and I think it was Nixon who overturned that.
Yeah, so it was from and it wasn't just a short period of time. It was literally from 1941 or something like that when FDR was elected. I think
He was 33, was he sworn in?
33. Okay, so from 33 until the 70s, LBJ, right?
A long time.
Nixon, I think it was.
Nixon.
Yes.
So that was it was in the 70s. So that was 30 years, 35 years, something like that.
And then 5 minutes before that, the money was redeemable in gold.
Yeah.
So if I had $1 and it was worth that much in gold, I could go to any bank and say, give me this in gold. And it went from that overnight, basically, to you can't have gold at all.
Yeah, the idea that the changes that Donald Trump is making are actually unprecedented is actually a lie intended to frighten people and get people to say, these things are unacceptable behaviors by a president.
Oh, that's not how I'm saying. I think, Phil, it's unprecedented in our lifetime that a Republican is delivering on anything.
That's true, yes.
Democrats tend to over-deliver, though, to be honest.
How so?
Well, they at least I would say in my lifetime, to be fair, it's actually just one Democrat that I can talk about. Obama, he very much over-delivered on the amount of children that he killed and the war expansion. And
Oh, I see what you did there, Dad.
Ages.
he told us he would give us 0 dead Americans, and he gave us many.
Tim's been a dad for 5 minutes. He's doing dad jokes.
I mean, literally, the Obama administration did actually deliver something that the Democrats had been promising forever, even though it was a watered-down, terrible policy. The ACA was something that the Democrats have been
But
talking about.
it's not socialized medicine like they wanted.
No, it ruined the market in the United States,
Sure.
and it's
It's not
terrible.
single payer, though. They were promising single payer.
No, true.
Trump making all these changes.
Oh, yeah. He didn't give, it is funny because what you get promised is not what they deliver.
Right.
But anybody who knows anything about what the presidents have done in this country for the past 30 years, Obama delivered exactly what was expected times 10.
Trump is attacking the system, and that's why these people are going insane right now.
Yeah.
You know what else I said? I said last year, I was on Rogan, and we talked about how Joe Biden had a body double because there's some footage where it looked like Joe Biden was much taller than Jill. And my thesis is this is Trump's body double because we sat through this guy for 4 years, and this is a completely different person.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.